My name is Adrian Stern. I am a 60-year-old white male who contracted COVID, and I should be dead. Beginning in late November, I was hospitalized for almost 2 months, and I was on a ventilator for nearly 3 weeks. Boy, that picture scares the hell out of me. I found out later I was given only a 15% chance of recovery. Not great odds. It's what some folks call, I use the word euphemistically, circling the drain. Lucky for me, I survived. I believe that there were 5 basic reasons that I survived this trip to hell and back. I was in good physical condition, not great, but I boxed, I exercised on a regular basis. I have a strong will to live. I have an amazing wife, children, grandchildren, business partners, and friends. I received excellent care. I had fantastic doctors, nurses, and nurse practitioners. And not only were they my caregivers, but they're really my sole source of support because of COVID. The people I love the most couldn't be with me. It was tough. 4th reason was I think God just wasn't done with me yet. I had unbelievable outpourings of prayer and love sent my way. People I barely knew were there for me and their prayers and wishes. And last, I was just plain lucky. My doctor said I should go out and buy a lottery ticket. He's the one who calmly told me, by the way, that I should be dead. Ultimately, I never really knew what ended up saving me. And honestly, I came to the conclusion, I just don't think I'm supposed to know. But it turns out when you're hospitalized for long periods of times, interesting side effects occur that nobody tells you. I lost 50 pounds during this ordeal. It's hard to believe looking at me now. They fed me through a tube in my arm. When I finally got better, I was sent to a rehab hospital. I lasted 3 days. And when I was discharged, my doctors warned me that I have PTSD. I didn't even know what PTSD was. And quite honestly, I wasn't quite sure who to talk to about all this. I struggled. And finally, I reached out to Rabbi Paul because I figured that's what you do when you run into these challenging issues. But I really felt bad about it because he's going through all this pain and torture, and how is he going to have time to deal with me? We texted back and forth quite a few times. And he finally convinced me to write down my experiences of what had happened, because there's not a lot of people who survived like I did. So I tried. And every time I tried to write, I broke down in tears. It was so difficult because I had this impossible time dealing with my own mortality. I never expected the end to be so close, and darn it, I wasn't ready to leave yet. Finally, I finished. I shared my reflections with some of you on a Friday night Shabbat service. And I'm not going to lie, I barely made it through. But when I finished, it was like a ton of bricks had been lifted off of me. Sharing my story, first with the rabbi, and then with the congregation, just gave me this release. It's the first time that night I slept soundly in weeks. Slowly, the night terror started to subside. So why do I tell you this story this morning? Why am I sharing with this congregation this story? I do it because many of me are like you. You don't know what to do when the going gets rough. And I've got to tell you, the reason why I'm here today is to tell you we need institutions like our synagogue. We need institutions like our synagogue. We need our rabbi, and we need our cantor. In times of great adversity, when you truly think the crisis is past is when the need really, truly begins. You know, it's not like you can go on DoorDash and order up a spiritual home. Excuse me, can I have a congregation, please? It doesn't work like that. Places like Or-Me and people like these amazing clergy, you need them on an ongoing basis. And you don't need them just for yourself. You need them for your families. You need them for your kids. You need them for your elderly parents. You need them. Trust me when I say you don't know what's going to happen to you, because you don't. Thank God they were there to help me through this whole thing. They'll be there for you too when you need them. So support Congregation Or-Me. Support its programs for teens and adults. Support the work it does to help people. Support the fact that they are there for you 24/7 when you need them. It's amazing to me, frankly, how they did it through this entire pandemic. So you know what's coming next, right? We all sat here, right? I want you to make a donation to the Center of God. I want you to consider it a spiritual insurance policy against future unknown perils. What can I say? I'm a CPA. All right, so if you're in person, you see the envelope. Got the envelope? Take the envelope, it's near your seat, make a pledge. The ushers are coming around, they'll collect them from you. If you're at home, if you're watching this on streaming, I want you to go to orme.org/donate and make a pledge. I know it feels weird sitting at home, but I need you to do this for me. That's orme.org/donate. Some of you can give $180, some $250, some $500. I'm sounding like an auction, right? Some $1,000, some $5,000, maybe even $10,000. But I just want you to pause a minute and put yourself back in my shoes. What would I have done without this place? What would you do if you didn't have this place? Let's not find out, shall we? How about you do your fair share and you do a little bit extra to cover the families who are struggling and cannot do it? Now, I don't know most of you, and I don't know most of you out there in streaming land, but I'm asking you as a personal favor to me to go ahead and do this. Thank you so much. Have a blessed and safe new year, and please choose life.